Today on DNVR Buffs Live, who can make the leap up into the upper echelon of Colorado's elite players? We'll discuss the returning players who have the most to gain this season. We're going to talk hashtag Shock the World, Operation Shock the World. I don't know what
let's go with hashtag.
Hashtag. Yeah. And then we're going to draft the best college football quarterbacks of all time and much more. Let's go. DNVR Buffs Live, coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Welcome back.
Dynamic duo. Let's get it,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
How
Let's
you
go.
feeling?
Great, man. How you doing?
Doing well, bro. It's a nice looking day outside. Could be a lot worse. Got some rain in the forecast, some rare rain in the forecast this entire week, it seems like. But
I mean, coming into this week, I thought this was going to be a terrible, just nasty week. But
yeah.
if it's this, I'll actually kind of take
we'll take
this.
it for sure. What's
You
up with
guys are
that? Where'd
crazy.
that come from?
I have no idea. You'll need to explain that one to me, RK's forehead.
No, yeah, I held it down yesterday. That was a good ass show yesterday.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it rolling here today because we got another banger here today. We got another banger with Uncle Neely joining us tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Let's keep things rolling here, brother.
I think we're having a good off season, honestly.
I would have to agree with you, bro.
Like,
I would have to agree with you.
we could do a lot worse.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Today on the show, we'll be drafting all-time college football quarterbacks.
I'm big time excited for that one. I'm
Me
not gonna
too.
lie.
It's going to be fun. Joey McGuire on the college football playoff. Scotty wrote up a mailbag. He's going to share his biggest takeaways. We're going to talk hashtag Shock the World, making the leap candidates here in just a second. But yesterday, Scotty, I just want to loop you in. We talked 2-quarterback system about the guys. We talked some Shador, some CFP stuff, just anything that you wanted to get off your chest that you weren't able to contribute on yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the discussion about the 2-quarterback system seems like it got people a bit riled up, right? A lot
little
of people
bit, yeah.
have some opinions on that because I feel like that's just something that has a negative connotation to it.
It does, yes.
Nowadays, right? 2 quarterbacks, and obviously the old adage that has become very popular nowadays, if you have 2, you don't really have any, you don't have one. I think this is just such a unique situation with the juxtaposition of Caden Salter transferring in for his final year of eligibility and, Juju coming in as a 5-star blue chip quarterback recruit. And there's something you said yesterday I think encapsulated it perfectly because I did tap into a good amount of the show yesterday. But you were like, Caden's literally 4 to 5 years older than Julian Lewis.
Yeah.
And it's like Julian is not only a young guy, he's like a really, really young guy.
Yeah.
He reclassified.
Yes.
So like he is truly a junior in high school battling, so to speak, with somebody who has played college football for the last 3 to 4 years. So just from that standpoint, obviously Caden probably will get the nod at least early on, but that doesn't prevent Juju from playing early, even potentially playing often. Because I think it would be smart for everybody involved for Juju to get some type of run here as a true freshman. And again, whether that's in a blowout, whether that's potentially out of need, I think that's going to be a possibility. But Caden was brought here for a reason.
Absolutely, he was.
And Caden committed here for a reason, and that was to play. And
After Juju committed too, he did that.
Exactly. Caden committed here knowing that Juju was going to be in the building. You know what I'm saying? And something Juju called Caden this spring. He said, that's big bro.
Yeah.
He said he's seen and done, it all and what I'm trying to do. So that was a perfect, I think, and I've talked about this. I mentioned this before on the show. Like, one of the best things Coach Prime has done for this program in particular, I think, is relieve any worry about the quarterback situation.
Great point.
And that is,
there could be a lot of many other avenues and ways this could have gone, but this is pretty ideal.
Pretty ideal. You got, again, somebody who, in Caden Salter's case, no returning quarterback in FBS has more total touchdowns over the last 2 seasons than Caden Salter. And behind him is a 5-star blue chip quarterback who could have went anywhere. Mm-hmm. That's a great situation to be in. So there's no need to make it toxic. I think we trust this coaching staff to make the right decision. And I think all of us are expecting to see both of those guys here this year. And that's a good spot to be in.
Love it, man. All right. So let's start doing returners.
Let's get it, man.
There is some parameters here. Maybe we're kind of getting in the weeds of the offseason here because we keep on having to add them. But so this is just pure returning players. No freshmen, no transfers, guys who are returning who could make the leap into what I'm calling maybe the blue chip, the top tier of players at Colorado. And there's more than these 3 guys, but in terms of pure returners, I would say the 3 elite players that Colorado has returning are Jordan Seaton, DJ McKinney, and I'll throw in Arden Walker in there as just like a vet, captain type player. Like, we know how important he is to this year's team.
Yeah, obviously. I think that's fair. I think it's a fair listing.
So we're talking guys like who are on the thumbnail: Omarion, Micah. You could throw in Dallin. You can throw in Sammy Sachs. You can throw in Quincy Wiggins, Carter, Preston if you wanted to. I mean, and Preston's kind of like on that. He's already like so close, I think, to that. He might even be top tier, honestly.
Right. He might be.
3 other guys. So those are the type of guys we're trying to look at and talk about today, as opposed to, talking about Julian and Caden and Jaheim Otis and Joseph Williams and all these guys. All guys we're very excited about.
For sure.
Not the focus today, though. So if I see you freaking out about DeKalen Taylor or Joseph Williams or anything in the chat, you're just going to get completely ignored. And chat, please let them know what we're doing, because we're not going to recap this all over and over and over. We're building a top 5 out of this. How do you want to start? 1st to 5. We'll do an honorable mentions after it all, too.
Yeah, let's just start at 1. Who's the first name that came to your mind when you were putting this together?
It's got to be Omarion Miller.
Yeah.
In terms of, we've seen the flashes, but health, obviously, not his fault what happened last year, but got to stay healthy first and foremost. Second, that production's got to become more consistent, right? It can't just be one game a season type of thing, obviously, and he's stepping into a larger role. But I mean, it's really all there for him. Like, would it surprise you if he became Colorado's best receiver, one of their best players? Like, that's the exact type of player we're looking for on this list.
Yeah, for sure. That wouldn't surprise any of us, right? If he ended the season as this team's leader in receiving yards or leader in receiving touchdowns or even leader in catches, because we have seen the flashes in back-to-back seasons, and all we're asking for now at this point is consistency and obviously health, which obviously goes along with that. But when Omarion Miller is, better than him, more versatile than him, can take a 5-yard slant or a hitch and take it 60 yards to the crib, can make multiple guys miss after the catch, can go up and catch contested footballs deep down the field, can catch a screen and turn it into a positive play, something we saw here this year. So Omarion Miller, the only thing holding him back is just consistent playing time and targets. And speaking of targets, he caught every single pass thrown his way last year. Targeted 10 times, caught 10 passes last year. And that is something that quarterbacks love, consistency, being able to trust where your guy is going to be. And Omarion can continue to build that trust with Juju and obviously Caden as well. Omarion Miller is definitely going to be a breakout star and going to be probably one of the most popular Buffaloes on this team here this fall from a national perspective.
Yeah, no doubt. Bear with us. The stream is struggling a little bit, but we're still here. Absolutely. I mean, he's just number 1 in my mind. That's why he's on the thumbnail, to be completely frank.
Yeah.
Draylon could be number 2, honestly.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's actually, I think, shown more in terms of production than Omarion thus
He
far.
has.
Just in one season's, time frame. And he had a lot more going for him, or I guess not going against him, as opposed to Omarion, right? Is that who you would put second? I mean, I'll throw Micah too. He's on the thumbnail as well, and there's a big reason that's
I don't
he's there too.
I don't have a problem at all with Jalen Miller here. Obviously, we've talked almost ad nauseum about him this offseason.
Yeah,
and
we
how
have.
impressed we are with his progression. I mean, what we saw from him during the pro day, that really, really opened my eyes, because he belongs on that football field with future NFL players. And he was not one bit shook by the fact that the entire NFL world was there in Boulder watching him. And you were there, obviously. We were there. Of
course.
You could hear a pin drop in that place. The tension was high.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he was not nervous at all, or at least to the naked eye, nervous at all. So Draylen is definitely a good fit there. The guy who came to my mind, and somebody finally brought it up, shout out Bomari. That's the first name that came to my mind when you brought this prompt up to me. And that's Amari McNeil.
I love that.
I've been banging the table a lot for Amari McNeil since probably the back half of last year. That Texas Tech game where he won the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week award, where he had, I think, a sack and a half, couple of tackles for loss, was dominant in the run game, applying pressure on Baron Morton, Texas Tech's quarterback as well. If he can continue, kind of like Omarion, put together just a consistent season, 10, 11, 12 games, Amari McNeil, in my opinion, has the ability to be, the talent to be one of the best defensive linemen in the Big 12. And again, nobody is going to replicate the production, the impact of the block bully had last year on the interior of that defensive line. But Amari McNeil is damn good, and he could certainly replicate some of that production, some of that impact. And again, when you can pair him with potentially a Jaheim Otis or a Tavian Coleman or some of the other dogs they got out defensive line, I think Amari McNeil could potentially be a breakout guy for this defense here this year.
Man, I love it. You've stood on business for him, and I respect it, man. So we'll go Draylen 2, Amari McNeil, number 3, Dion. We got to take a break, though, if you want to do that first. And then we'll touch on the rest of this list on the other side, and some guys who maybe just missed the cut as well. Shout out to the homies over at Raising Cane's. I went to Raising Cane's for lunch yesterday, and just delicious, man. Crispy, crinkle-cut fries, that cool, delicious coleslaw, and, of course, that buttery Texas toast. And then the main event, those just perfect, seasoned, battered chicken fingers, man. Top it all off with that delicious Cane's sauce, and you got a meal. Are you hungry yet? Get your order today at Cane's and keep the road trip going. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
One love. And shout out to the squad over at First Bank, man. If you're a banking free agent right now or just looking to upgrade your entire banking situation, I'm telling y'all, First Bank is the place to do it. Whether you're on the road, whether you're at home, or maybe even somewhere in between, First Bank makes banking easy, convenient, and most importantly, secure. Their mobile banking app allows you to check balances, pay friends, and manage your money anytime, anywhere. And here is the best part, y'all. Open a new First Bank checking account today, and you could earn $300. First Bank is all about helping you stay on track. Their tools make it simple to stay in control of your finances without the hassle. So no matter where life takes you, First Bank gives you the freedom to bank how and when it works best for you. So if you're ready for better banking and the chance to earn a little extra cash, head over to efirstbank.com/bonus. That's efirstbank.com/bonus to open your account. Bank how you want, when you want with First Bank. Certain restrictions and requirements apply. Member FDIC. Shout out to the squad over at First Bank.
All right. Again, returning players who can make the leap. Top 5. We'll get into honorable mentions after. First one, we got Omari Miller. Then we got Draylen Miller. No surprise, the Miller is up there. We just put Amari McNeil number 3. Do you have another name that you'd be willing to throw out? I mean, I've got Micah on the thumbnail, and we're definitely going to get to him at some point. Is this the spot for him?
Should we put Micah here?
Let's do it.
Let's put Micah here. What he showed, and I kind of wrote a little bit about this today, in my mailbag story, which we'll get to a little bit. Somebody asked us just about my thoughts on the running back room. And obviously, if you saw my projected starters, my post-spring projected starters that I put out last week, we talked about it a little bit on the show. I had DeKalen Taylor as my RB1, but I really feel like the skill sets of at least the top 3 guys in this running back room really complement each other really well.
Yeah.
Like I see DeKalen Taylor as the lightning in the bottle, your home run hitter. I see Dallin Hayden as your pass protector, potentially your third down option in the pass game. And I see Michael Welch having a really, really important role in short yardage goal line situations. Short yardage in particular is something that this team struggled with last year.
Straight up.
It just did.
Yeah.
And obviously this year, Caden should help with that. But I think Micah, as a sophomore, another year under his belt, after dealing with some injuries last year, hamstring injuries in particular, which are nothing to play with, I feel like Micah is going to have a very important role in this offense, scoring touchdowns, putting points on the board. And that's kind of what we saw from him last year. But I think there's certainly room for him to continue to grow and kind of blossom into the 3 down potentially running back that we saw him obviously be down there in Georgia in high school. I mean, bro was all that in high school down there in Georgia. I mean, obviously that's what kind of made him such a highly touted recruit coming out of high school. But I like Michael Welch here. I think he's in for a nice season, and he's got a really important role waiting for him, I believe.
I agree, man. And it's his playing style. To me, that punishing, just tough, hard-nosed runner. I mean, Coach Prime has mentioned that's the type of archetype he wants at running back. He likes those kind of short, squatty dudes, low center of gravity, who kind of like Savion Wilkerson, those that last year at Jackson State. That's exactly what he's looking for out of a running back, and I think Micah can totally do that. And, of course, DeKalen Taylor and Dallin are going to have their roles. Dallin could also be someone who could make this list. I mean,
honestly, should we put a slash there? Should it be a Michael Welch / Dallin Hayden type thing?
Hey,
you already answered it. Go ahead. Go continue.
I mean, sure, we can. It's just, personally, I think Micah just has more potential at this point. Obviously, he's younger.
Right.
He's got less tread on the tires. And again, just that style of play, just that physical, super physical style, where he's going to let you know that tackling me is not going to be easy.
For sure.
I think that little extra juice that he has in that department is what pushes him over the edge for me over Dallin. We can put them both if you want, though.
You already answered it, bro. I'm with you.
All right. Number 5, Dallin can enter this territory. I'll throw out Quincy Wiggins. That's my guy. And then, again, we're not going to do this without talking about Cam Michael.
Yeah, that was the name I got to top of my list here for sure. Of the remaining guys, I mean, Cam.
Carter Stoutmeyer, I think, is a great one in this spot too.
So is RJ Johnson, in my opinion. So there are a handful of guys. Yeah, Cam is the fastest player on the team, man. I just can't wait to see how he might potentially be used. And I just pray to Lord Jesus Christ that offensive coordinator Pat Shermer can get creative in utilizing him in non-traditional ways. But like you mentioned, Carter's a really good fit here. Started 7 games last year at 2 different spots, 2 completely different spots, nickel corner and kind of the field safety. He looks massive. I mean, we said that last year, right, in terms of his build. But even this offseason, he looks like he's taken another step in terms of just kind of his physique and kind of physical build. I mentioned RJ Johnson there. Most special team snaps played on the team last year. I think he's going to be a top 4 corner on this team here this year, potentially play a role, and he has the measurables that Coach Prime covets at the cornerback position, 6'2", damn near 200 pounds. That's what you're looking for. So there's some really good options here at 5. What do you think, though?
I think Carter's a great one. I know he's a lightning rod in some sense for this fan base. But again, the physical attributes and just the fact that he had to play all over the place, finally having him at a home at safety, somewhere where you can get some just continuity. I'm really excited about what he can bring to the table this season.
I'm cool with
Sammy
putting Carter
Sachs and Quinn Barnes you can also throw out. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I'm cool with putting Carter there. I thought about Jeremiah Brown, too. The name
JB,
popped into my head.
Let's do it. We'll put Carter in at 5, and that'll round out the list. Yeah, we.
I think that's a balanced list.
I think so too. We mentioned Dallin, of course. We mentioned a bunch of guys who could potentially make this list. Ben Finiseth,
Yeah.
a sneaky pick, I think, that could be on this list.
OGYC.
Who else? Caleb Mathis, potentially. I mean, I think.
Saw him running routes in the latest Well Off video, or maybe he was even reached the people. Bro, look really nice out there.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see it.
There's, I think, some guys above him comfortably, but I would not be surprised if Caleb Mathis goes out there and can contribute quite a bit this season.
Brandon Davis Swain is a name
That's a
too.
good
That's
one.
kind of in the depths, in the weeds of a really deep defensive line, but coming into, I believe, this year will be his redshirt freshman year, second year here in Boulder. It wouldn't completely shock me if he was able to crack that rotation or maybe get some burn at some point this season.
And then
PD Beast Mode mentions Keaton Wade. That was somebody I mentioned
course.
right before the show started. I don't think we mentioned it as the show began, but yeah, I mean, played the second half of last year and was, I think, third on the team in sacks in just a half a season of playing time. So Keaton Wade is definitely somebody who's going to play this year, somebody who Robert Livingston went out of his way to kind of involve in the defensive game plan last year in different ways. So I think Keaton Wade is a guy who is another guy who is flying under the radar who could definitely take a leap here this fall.
And in terms of like room to grow too, like you mentioned, he was kind of he had a designed role last year. If he can break in and just contribute at linebacker or off the edge, whatever it is, and become just a more well-rounded player, absolutely, he's on this list.
I wonder if that is something potentially in his bag to just get moved to linebacker.
Off ball, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? With obviously some uncertainty, so to speak, with the linebacker role right now. I wonder if that's something that, one, he could do, and B, that the coaching staff would want to see him potentially play on it.
At the risk of pissing off the chat, Charlie Offerdahl?
I mean,
no one was running behind that offensive line last year.
No.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah,
I'm not,
I get it.
I know someone's going to get totally upset about that, but
We love Charlie here, man.
we do, and I still believe that Charlie can make some noise in the right situation. Preston Hodge, I mean, yeah, he's definitely, just going through this list, he's in that top tier.
Yeah.
I'll open it up to 4 guys returning. All right, there you go. Let's talk hashtag shock the world.
Let's get it, dog.
We mentioned this last week, I believe.
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, I think it was started with Coach Corey Phillips and
Coach Box had a tweet last week.
Sure, that's what it was.
That's when it started, but Corey Phillips took to Twitter yesterday and tweeted the same thing again. And again, I just thought to myself, something's got to be going on here. This has to mean more. And going in, we talked about Vance Spafford, who captioned his visit photos with that.
Yeah, man.
When he was here.
Bro, real quick, I don't know if I've mentioned this about Vance Spafford. Maybe I did, bro, but I came across it again yesterday. Dude is cold.
He is.
Obviously, being committed to Georgia should tell you what you need to know, especially being a 5 foot, 11, 180-pound receiver.
Yeah.
Being committed to Georgia. But, bro, over the last 2 seasons down there in Mission Viejo in California, 140 catches, bro. 2,500 receiving yards, bro. 36 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons.
That's extremely productive.
That's extreme production. Somebody who is like, and we love, I've said it during our draft show, like we love cross race comps here.
Yeah,
but like,
who you got?
But I actually don't. But like very much Lad McConkey. And again, maybe it's because it's the Georgia connection, but like, bro, it is really cold. And if that's a flip, and I know people might want to say, we're tired of seeing the receivers. Like we want to see.
Sure.
He is one of them ones for sure.
He's a blue chipper, absolutely.
He's a blue chipper.
No doubt, man.
That would be a crazy flip. I mean, you flip anybody from Georgia,
Of course.
you doing the right thing.
Yeah, you're getting a good football player. Absolutely.
Facts.
Also, a little quick sidebar. Lad McConkey's like that. He's been like that.
Bro.
Been like that.
I wasn't sure how he would translate to the NFL.
Nah, he
He was elite last year
just-
as a rookie.
He collects ankles and routes people's up.
bro.
That's all he does.
He was elite last year, and no other really like receiving option to like take attention off him last year either
Yeah.
with the Chargers. You know what I'm
Facts,
saying?
yeah.
Like it was him. The
Even
pass
at
game was
Ge-
him.
Even at Georgia too, he was like. I mean, they had Bowers, but
right.
like he was the guy on the outside.
No
Basically.
doubt.
Going back to hashtag shock the world, Joseph Pecco,
Yeah.
I think tweeted this or something. He posted it on somewhere, right?
Did you see Amari McNeil's tweet?
No, please tell
So
me.
he quote retweeted Corey Phillips' Shock the World tweet with 2 eyeball emojis.
Uh-huh.
He added Joseph Pecco, who we've talked about, the son of Dominic Pecco
Yeah,
Jr.,
yeah.
who's currently debating between North Carolina, Colorado, and I think Arizona is the third school.
Yep.
Defensive lineman, obviously. He added another guy who wasn't on my radar previously, and I don't know if he was on your radar. He added, let me get his name, Richard Anderson,
I do not know who
a
this is.
2026 defensive line commit to LSU.
Ooh.
This young man has been committed to LSU since last June. He is, according to 24/7 Sports, the number 2 defensive lineman in the class.
Wow.
He's a 5-star
Five-star?
on Rivals.
Wow.
Number 1 defensive lineman on Rivals. Offers from everybody. So Amari McNeil, again, added Pecco and this young man, Richard Anderson, who has been committed to LSU since last summer. That was interesting.
That's very interesting. I
Very,
missed
very
that.
interesting.
Nice catch.
For sure. And dudes, I mean, Gabe Brooks, 24/7 Sports scouting analyst, has a scouting report on Richard Anderson. This is the first sentence. Interior behemoth with lane clogging mass and penetrating athleticism. Richard Anderson is listed at 6'3", 340 pounds. This man can dunk too, at 6'3", 340 pounds. Gabe Brooks goes on to write, could fit a myriad of defensive fronts as an anchor in the middle, leverage monster with huge base that fuels the ability to reestablish the line of scrimmage, size and strength to take on doubles teams when needed. Projects as a potential high major impact player with long-term pro upside. His comp for Richard Anderson, Kenneth Grant of the Michigan Wolverines.
That's a game-changing type of player.
Yes, sir.
It's literally bigger Chidoze Nwankwo.
Exactly. So clearly, Amari and Corey, that man's on
Yeah.
his radar.
Well, and maybe the number 1 target for this 2026 class is also in on the movement. If you go to Sedarian Morgan's Instagram and go to when he posted his photos of his visit on May 10th, the ones where Juju and Cam Michael commented, he has a song
What's that song?
by Rod Wave.
Ooh,
It's called Shock the World. Interesting.
very, very interesting.
Something's happening.
CSI DNVR?
CSI DNVR. We had CSI Cleveland Browns yesterday. Now it's CSI DNVR. Let's go, man.
Shock the world. That is that the new adage of the offseason, bro?
It might be.
It might be, depending on if something happens here soon. You know what I'm saying?
That
Yeah.
should just be the model for the entire recruiting class, honestly.
For sure.
Because it's like a momentum thing. It's a building block.
Exactly.
Thing. You get one who buys in on that,
Yeah. And then it's
your
like, hold
chances
on.
are you're going to get another.
Mm-hmm.
And chances are you might get another.
For sure.
Fascinating stuff.
And speaking of our guy Cam, he also replied underneath Corey's tweet. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see this, yes.
Where he added Jace Matthews,
Yep.
4-star wide receiver out of Mississippi, who
Yep.
was on a visit that a couple weekends ago. He added Van Spafford, who we just talked about. He added Jordan Clay, the four-star safety who has Colorado, I believe, in his final 10. Just posted last month. And he also added, like you mentioned, Sedarian and then Corey Sadler Jr., who we got some news about today.
Who, yes. Let's discuss that news on the other side of this break.
Let's get it.
Sorry, you just did First Bank?
Yep.
Empire Today. Shout out to the homies over at Empire Today. Home field, home floor advantages are everything in sports. It should mean everything to you as well, whether it's your home or business. Make sure your floors are looking spick and span, nice and clean. Whether it's tile, hardwood floors, carpet, or you want to switch to one of those. Empire Today's got you covered because that's all they do. They are the floor masters. They're going to take care of you. What'd you see? Oh, I see. Never mind. But yeah, they're going to take care of you, take care of your home or business, and make it super, super easy while doing it. You can use their virtual floor designer too to see right in your house, exactly how a new flooring would look in your space. And you can schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when you use promo code DNVR. Again, that's a $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/DNVR for full details.
Shout out to the squad over at Breckenridge Brewery.
Yeah.
Whether you're trying to get some good drinks, some good food, potentially at the farmhouse, Breckenridge Brewery is the place to do it. And while you're at it, check out Breck Brew's new West Coast style IPA. It's called the Ridge Runner. This double dry hop brew is inspired by the untamed beauty of Colorado's trails and creates notes of bright citrus and pine. Y'all already know that we love our Breck Brews here at DNVR because Breckenridge Brewery is the official craft beer of DNVR. And Breck Brew is as a beer for any occasion, and there's no better way to watch a game or just enjoy a weekend or a nice day outside than having some Breck Brew. And also, this doesn't hurt. Breck Brew is made with 100% renewable energy. Y'all already know my favorite is the Fun Slinger. So go check out the beer locator at breckbrew.com to find a brew near you.
All right. CJ Sadler is coming on an official visit. We've talked about this kid quite a bit as well. The 4-star athlete out of Detroit, Michigan, goes to Cass Technical High School.
Detroit,
yeah.
Detroit, as
we haven't had
the late great Stuart Scott used to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to call it
Is he from
Detroit.
there? No.
I don't think so.
He was like a Carolina guy, wasn't he, or something like that?
Stewart?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, we haven't had a Detroit kid, I think, since.
Wow.
Brandon
He's a
Davis
legend.
Swain?
He's from Chicago. What a goat.
Nice.
R.I.P. a legend.
Shout out Stuart Scott, man.
For real.
96 overall player, 7th ranked athlete in the class, and a true potential two-way player at college football. Corey Phillips has tweeted, I think, about him quite a bit.
For a while now.
Posting his highlights or mentioning him and stuff.
Yeah.
It's clear the Buffs are interested in him. They're finally going to get him on campus. This is an OV as well. I'm seeing some conflicting stuff on the date. Rivals has June 20th, while 247 has June 13th. So it's one of these next 2 weekends coming up. He'll be on an OV. That's not what I said, Reef. Relax, bro. Relax. Alan True at 247 Sports spoke to CJ's coach at Cass Tech, Marvin Rushing. He said things are starting to pick up as he determines what he's looking for, which is an opportunity to play both sides of the ball and be developed. Now, where can you go that has a track record of guys playing on both sides of the ball at an elite level with no restrictions, basically, just whatever you can handle?
Wait, didn't last year's Heisman do that?
Wait, you're right.
Where he went to school? He was at Jackson State, and then where'd he go after that?
I can't remember. Must not have been important. He's also taking OVs to UNC. I think that one's happening this week. And then, so I think he's going to Miami
next weekend.
That's what. Go ahead.
It looks like, according to Rivals, Greg Smith at Rivals, it looks like North Carolina this weekend, Miami next weekend, and Colorado the weekend after that, June 20th.
And then there's nothing in this article from Alan True, but his 247 page does say June 13th OV to CU. So I don't know. We'll find out when exactly he's coming. But the Tar Heels are a factor. He just had an OV at Maryland. Maryland's also going to be a factor. Relax, Drew. Relax. Joey McGuire. We talked, mailbag takeaways.
Yes, sir.
What'd you learn from, or what stood out to you from the mailbag yesterday?
I would say two things. We'll talk about two. First off, go check that out. Make sure, if you aren't already a DNVR diehard, what are you doing? Make sure you become one. Make sure you check out you'll get access to all of our written content from Jake and I. You'll get perks here at the bar. You get perks on our website. You get a free t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? And you get entrance to our Discord lounge, which is where I dropped the prompt to our DNVR diehards just about sending them questions. What questions they have for me about the Colorado football team heading into 2025 season. A lot of good questions from the diehards in the Discord. Some good questions on Twitter as well. But I'll just talk about a couple of these. But go read the full
Go
story.
read this thing. This is awesome.
On thednvr.com. This is a really good question from at Buckets since 88 on
That's
Twitter.
Pete. Shout out Pete.
Shout out Pete, man. He goes, how do you expect the scheme on offense to look different based on the personnel? What strengths does Caden and company have that are different from last year's offense? And that got me thinking a lot about what we saw last year offensively and what we could potentially see this year offensively and how that all might look different. And I wrote about it. I think I mentioned some of these stats on the show maybe a couple weeks ago, but a shift or a motion pre-snap was just not a part of Colorado's offense last year.
Honestly, mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling, bro. Only 22% of plays last year for Colorado used a shift or a motion. That ranked third worst in FBS. 132 out of 134.
It just doesn't make sense. Those things only help you.
Only help you. They helped Caden Salter a lot.
Yeah,
over the last 2 years at Liberty. Over the last 2 years, Liberty used a shift or motion. 56% of their plays. More than half of their plays used a shift or a motion. That ranked 20th out of 134 teams.
And with a running quarterback, that's huge because you can move gaps around. You can just, unbalanced formations. You can do a lot of stuff with a guy like Caden and moving guys pre-snap.
Both in the run and the pass game.
Absolutely.
It obviously is a staple, really, of the run game, the pre-snap motion and shift and whatnot, but it could really get scary when you can kind of mirror those pre-snap looks with the pass game, particularly the play-action pass game. Play-action pass game is something that Caden has just been dominant in the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. Over the last 2 years, 27-4 touchdown reception ratio on play-action passes. 130 passer rating on play-action passes over the last 2 years. And again, a lot of those, I would assume, had some pre-snap motion because, again, you're trying to marry up from the defense perspective, make it look like your top 3 or 4 run plays. Mm-hmm. But you have a different wrinkle play action. You get guys on their heels or maybe looking into the backfield instead of on the receiver that they might have in man coverage. Pat Shurmur, it's a big year for him. He has to include more pre-snap motion. He has to include more shifts pre-snap. He has to get more creative in the run game, in the traditional sense, and in the quarterback run game, because obviously Caden is a weapon with his legs. So that's the biggest thing. We have to see more pre-snap motion. That's going to help the run game. That's going to help the pass game. That's going to help Caden, kind of get a better look of a defense pre-snap as well. Mm-hmm. So that was a big thing that, again, we got to see that from Pat Shurmur here, this offense, because Caden has the talent, the ability to be one of the best quarterbacks, I think, in the Big 12. Be a dark horse Heisman candidate, but he's going to need some help from his OC. So hopefully Pat Shurmur can provide that.
Facts, man. We talk a lot. We talk about on the show, making the leap. Pat Shurmur's got to step up this year. I think we all realize that. You can't just put it all on Shedeur and Travis's shoulders again this year for obvious reasons, but it's just not sustainable. You just can't keep doing that. Like you got to help your guys out, give them an advantage in some department.
Real spill, bro. There's another good question. This is one more we'll go into. Again, go check all this out on thednvr.com for the diehards. Make sure you become a diehard if you're on already. This is another good question, though, from Impeccable GRPXS on Twitter.
Donnie is right. They did use that shift on every PAT attempt.
Damn near, it's a good point. And I hope that that's not included in those numbers, because if that 22%, if half of that was play action or, point after attempts, that's even more brutal. But this question was, with so many new starters and backups, who will have the biggest opportunity to become a contributor week 1 that nobody's really talking about right now? Could be a true freshman recruit or somebody who had limited snaps last year. Think about your answer while I talk about mine. Okay. And it was somebody who I brought up actually Monday.
What are the parameters again, real quick?
Who will have the biggest opportunity to become a contributor week 1?
Okay, so week 1.
That nobody's really talking about right now. Again, could be a true freshman, a recruit, or somebody who's returning from last year who, maybe didn't play a lot of snaps.
Sure.
The guy that I mentioned in this story was the guy I mentioned on Monday who I wanted to talk about, Tyreek Davis. We're overlooking him a little bit in the secondary with a lot of kind of uncertainty after DJ McKinney and Preston Hodge, who were in the tier 1 of the roster of this team. Mm-hmm. Obviously, after that, we like Teion Parks, what he did last year at Illinois State. We really like RJ Johnson. But Tyreek Davis, aside from Preston Hodge, is the most experienced, productive corner on this football team. Over the last 2 years at Wyoming, 69 tackles, 15 pass breakups, a couple of picks, 5'10", 190 pounds, can play in the run game. Again, I mentioned I've seen him make open field tackles on Ashton Genty. You know what I'm saying? Like he is not afraid to stick his face into the run game as well. And obviously he's a true corner as well, a guy who can cover up some really talented receivers. So I feel like Tyreek Davis, it wouldn't shock me at all if week 1 he was on the field a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And he's not being talked about in that way, in that light at this moment. But soon enough he will be.
Interesting question.
It is, right? I was like, that one's going in the story for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Good one.
Because there's a lot, because it's like there are going to be a lot of new starters, right? I'm projecting 8 new starters on defense, 4 new starters on the offensive line, a new starter at running back, probably a new starter at receiver as well, a new starter at tight end. There's a lot of new guys. But do you have an answer?
A couple guys. I'll throw Ben Finiseth out there.
Yeah, bro.
I think there's a lot of trust with him. And I think in terms of week 1, that's what it kind of comes down to.
Right.
Is who can I trust out there?
It's true.
He might not be the long-term answer for this season. No disrespect to Ben, obviously. It's
a good point, bro. Week 1? Right. So we're talking
absolutely.
What we're talking about. It wouldn't shock me at all. Like I said, it wouldn't shock me at all if Ben Finiseth played a lot week 1.
Mm-hmm. Another guy, Tawfiq Thomas. He was kind of up there in that rotation on the defensive line last year, and he made some plays too. And we don't talk about Tawfiq Thomas enough.
No, we don't.
At all.
No, we don't.
He could be absolutely a make-the-leap type of player, but he was kind of high up in that rotation. I have reason to kind of believe he's going to be there again this year and play quite a few snaps, especially week 1 as those freshmen and transfers kind of come along.
I think that's a good one about Tawfiq. You're right. People don't talk about him enough. And I think Coach Sapp had maybe one of the funniest, coolest answers to a question this spring. It was about, Tawfiq and just about how he had to approach coaching Tawfiq differently.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because he is his own guy and he sees a lot of himself in Tawfiq. And that kind of made him, Coach Sapp, kind of evolve as a coach and try different things. And it sounded like he was seeing results with that different kind of way of coaching. So, like you mentioned, Tawfiq did make a little bit of noise last year.
He did, yeah.
With another year under his belt, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he was a big player in the interior defensive line.
Chat's throwing out TC as well, Torian Carter. And I could totally see that. Just an older dude. Like,
right.
Get age and experience on the defensive line. I totally understand that.
No doubt it.
Good stuff, man. Go check that out. You guys came and delivered with the questions. So shout out to chat, diehards, everyone. Become a DNVR diehard. Join the Discord, and you'll have direct access to us and an inside track at making the next mailbag.
For real, bro. I could do a better job of hopping in the Discord because I know you're in there quite a bit. But if y'all really want to get direct contact with us, that is the way to do it.
100%.
That is the way to do it. So make sure you become a diehard.
Plus, you'll get some scoops and some good info in there from time to time. So, do we have time today or no? To go over? No? Okay. Okay. Let's do this draft then.
We can make it quick.
Yeah, I think this is absolutely going to be a quick one. We're drafting the best college football quarterbacks of all time. It's going to get a little spicy, I think. I think some people are going to have some strong takes in the chat as well, but let's do it. Who went first last time?
I don't know, but let me go first this time.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
If I get the first pick of the quarterbacks here.
All-time college football.
All-time college football quarterbacks. Do we want to put this graphic up first?
We're not going to do we'll post the stream is struggling today.
Say less. All right, bet. I'm going with the best college football quarterback of all time. And this is a very unpopular opinion. People don't feel this way.
Okay.
This is an unpopular opinion, but this is somebody who, I don't think college football quarterback who's the coldest, the most dominant, fun to watch
who you're gonna take.
Every single weekend. It was Johnny Manziel, bro. Electricity in a bottle, bro. Won a Heisman as a freshman, bro.
Yeah.
Led the SEC in passing and rushing in the same season, bro.
Yeah.
Led the SEC in rushing while he was leading the conference in passing, bro. It's Johnny Manziel. And Nicole B, she knows what's up. Johnny football. I mean, bro, that season, bro, was absolute. That was electric, bro.
Sure.
That win against Alabama that season, absolutely electric. He is a legend to me, forever a legend.
All right. Well, then I'll have two on the turn here.
Yep.
And I don't know if I can do better than taking Tim Tebow and then Cam Newton.
That's all right.
I mean, two of the most dominant players of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim Tebow, say what you want about his NFL career and all that. He was just a machine at Florida. Unstoppable. The heartbeat of that football team, too. Like, he's just personified what a like college football quarterback and leader is. So shout out to Tim Tebow. And then Cam Newton, just potentially the most dominant season of all time from a quarterback.
He was a cheat code.
He was unbelievable. That comeback against Alabama is legendary. And it's all because of Cam Newton. The run against LSU, I think about that play in my like all the time. That like 50-yard run. Oh my God. Yeah, Tim Tebow and Cam Newton, easy.
This is a good picks, bro. I'm going to go with somebody who has just done it at the NFL level. To a level that people thought that he wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
Multiple-time MVP, was a ridiculous college football quarterback. I'm going with Lamar Jackson here. What he did at Louisville was absolutely crazy. I mean, national championship be damned. Just watch the man play football. I mean, I think it was that game against Syracuse early in his Heisman year, bro, where he had like 6 touchdowns. Like before the third quarter was over. It was crazy. Lamar was, again, a cheat code, like Michael Vick reincarnated.
He really was.
I'm going to go with kind of back in the day a little bit. Another kind of a dual threat, a national championship winner.
Okay.
Vince Young. I'm going to go with Vince Young here. I mean, that's probably one of my earliest college football memories, too, that national championship between Texas and USC. Game-winning touchdown that game. I mean, one of the earliest, like I said, dual threats, like legit dual threats that I remember being dominant. So I'm gonna go with Lamar and Vince Young back to back, and I'm loving my top 3 right now. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I'm gonna go potentially one of the best quarterback prospects of all time. I'm gonna take Andrew Luck.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, just an absolute field general at the college football level. For real. Remember when he like came back for that last year? That was the most like, oh, he didn't have to do this, but now Stanford's just going to be like crazy good again. Like automatically, just boom. So yeah, give me Andrew Luck. Shame what happened to him in the NFL, but you know, watching those teams, I mean, that's like watching a quarterback. One of the only examples I can think of watching a quarterback in college who just completely mastered the offense in the game of football.
Yeah, bro. Like you said, field general, bro.
Yeah, he ran that thing.
He did. He did.
After that, damn, I didn't think you were going to take Vince Young.
Got him.
Tell me the difference between Andrew Luck and Trevor Lawrence in college. I mean, one won a natty. One was on a way better team. One went to Stanford. Yeah. I mean, come on.
I love Trevor in college. He was cold.
He was. I'll take Michael Vick. Honestly, a little bit before my time in terms of watching college football, but I've seen the highlights. I know who he is.
Exactly.
Yes, Dave, I could have taken John Elway. I just didn't watch John Elway, honestly. Like that's I'm sorry. I just didn't. Oh, man. I watched every play of or every game of Andrew Luck, though, I can tell you that. But yeah, give me Michael Vick. Just, I mean, you want to talk about a trendsetter at the position?
Yeah.
I don't know how many guys on our list are playing quarterback because of him. There's a lot.
There's a lot, bro.
All right, round us out.
I got 2 here left. My final 2. I'm going to go. Man, there's like I have 5 names right here that I'm looking at that I really want to all say. Actually, 6 here, but I'm going to give the nod to somebody here more recently. Joe Burrow.
Great pick.
Joe Burrow. I mean, what he did that final year, and granted, it was with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and even Clyde Edwards-Helaire as running back, but that season was special. Yeah. That from you talk about field general.
Yeah, that
was an NFL quarterback playing one final season of college football, and it looked like that from start to finish, capping it off with an Eddie, correct?
Of course, yeah, undefeated.
Yeah, I mean that was a legendary season from a legendary quarterback.
I mean, the 22 Georgia team with that defense is up there, but the 2019 LSU team, I think, is the most dominant college football team I've really ever seen. I mean, going back, USC had some teams back in the day. Alabama, of course, has had some teams, but That LSU team was just on another level. Great pick.
My last pick here, I'm going to go with a kind of a bit of a throwback to Marcus Mariota. Them Oregon days, boy, when they were, you feel me, really Oregon, and they were like the show in college football. Again, a dual threat dude who could throw for 300 and run for 100 easily.
Yep.
Marcus Mariota is my guy who I put at 5, but I got like a handful of honorable mentions. Who you closing out with?
That's a great question. This is almost harder than the first overall pick. I just don't want to miss someone. What do you think, Dion?
Can I throw out my names then?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead. Me? I mean, I'm thinking like along the lines of like Peyton Manning, Baker.
I thought about Baker. We mentioned Kyler.
He mentioned Kyler.
Jameis was cold. I thought about Jameis.
Freshman year, Jameis, yeah.
Natty champion, Heisman winner as well.
Yep.
Shador.
I was thinking Cordell Stewart.
For sure. Both of those guys. What they did in Shador's case, both at Jackson State and at Colorado.
Sure.
I mean, for a career, I mean, quite literally the most accurate passer in college football history.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about with Shador. So I thought about Shador in my final spot there, but yeah, there's a lot of guys. Yeah, like, there's just no way I would say Peyton Manning. I just don't remember that.
I'll just take Baker. I just think that's
Baker was sick, dude.
He was not necessarily my favorite college football quarterback I've ever watched. I think I've got a lot that I like more, but I think that's just a strong pick to round out the list. Look, guys, we can only pick like what we've seen. Like, I don't know what to tell you here. RG3. I thought about RG3 too.
Yeah,
RG3 was very, very special at Baylor.
RG3 was cool.
He was Jaden Daniels is up there too. I was thinking Caleb for a bit too. No? All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. Jaden, obviously, season was cold. You win a Heisman. Obviously, you went crazy. But I just don't really look at that. Like, because I was there in the moment. Like, when it was going on, I wasn't like, Jaden Daniels was going crazy. It was just like, at the end of the season, like, oh, he's the Heisman, I guess. Yeah. He had the best season. You know what I'm saying? But, like, in the moment, it wasn't like Johnny's run or Vince Young. Like, it didn't have the aura of the Cam Newtons. It didn't have, like, the aura of those guys. So.
Yeah. I picked Vic at VT. So, to recap the draft, who'd you have, Scotty? Tell me your team. Scotty had first pick too.
I picked Johnny Manziel. I picked
Lamar Jackson,
Vince Young, Joe Burrow, and Marcus Mariota.
And then I went Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, Michael Vick, Baker Mayfield.
I think I'm going to win that.
We'll post it.
I'm going to win this one.
What's wrong with Caleb?
What's wrong with Mariota?
I don't know.
Mariota was cold, right? Like, I'm not sure.
Of course he was. Absolutely. Shoot, I thought Mariota was going to actually do stuff in the NFL.
That boy Wayne just high off meatloaf. Or we not really even listening to him today.
Mo says first year Scotty deep pockets was elite too.
Real ball knower right there, Mo.
I love
it. Oh man.
All right.
Hey, I had one thing quickly, actually.
Go ahead.
Just real quickly before we get to some questions. I saw this question posed on the timeline yesterday. Jake, you have the power to remove one college football program forever. Who is gone?
Who is gone? Wow. The Colorado State Rams. Peace. Won't be missed. Goodbye.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, even like Nebraska, it's like I actually have respect for you. Like, it'd be a little sad actually if you like left Ohio State.
Really?
Like,
that's actually surprising to hear you say that.
No, I'm thinking like
Nebraska.
who is the most annoying? Like, you actually don't contribute much to like the general like college football world. You're just like there.
See, for me, that's Nebraska. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, sure,
and it really has nothing to do with like CU or whatever. But it's just like, bro, they just be minding other people's business, bro. And that
they
just
really
be
do
killing me, bro.
Really do.
I'm like, bro, worry about y'all program, bro.
Facts.
They be killing me, G.
Look,
and with no success to like, what are y'all? I don't, especially in my lifetime.
But like,
Nebraska ain't been nothing since I've been alive.
You're right. But I'd actually like to play them again at some point in the future. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be down for that. Colorado State, if we never played them again, no skin off my nose.
See, I'm of the we defer in that. See, I'm of the mindset that they should play each other every year.
No.
Colorado and CSU, like they should play each other every single year. And there's no really like reason, in my opinion, not to if you're CU. Just beat up on Lil Bro every year. It'd be just like playing an FCS team.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but it's a lose-lose situation, though. I get it, but it is a lose-lose situation. All right, let's go to the chat. What else do we got? Got a few minutes. Notre Dame is a good answer. See, like, I'm not thinking along those lines, though. Like,
Notre Dame.
Honestly, if Notre Dame, like Ohio State, like the teams I hate, like, didn't play another game ever again, like those teams, I'd be kind of sad.
Yeah, for sure. They're actually a brand. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me.
New Mexico, great one.
Good answer, Reef.
Great one. Yeah, they're a mess.
The Lambs or the
You know who that is, bro.
Oh man.
Is that it? Oh, okay. All right, chat. Well, come on, Keith, chill, bro.
That boy said jail, prison.
I really can't think of another team. Like, there's not like a team.
Yeah, like I don't really.
I mean, what I
that.
would give to not hear about Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson ever again, like.
Still keeping quiet on that front the last couple weeks, so I'm kind of worried.
It kind of has.
Kind of worried.
We'll see. I mean, we're approaching that buyout date. You never know.
Sure. Wait, didn't we just pass it? Wasn't it June 1st?
Oh, was it June?
July?
Oh, I thought it was July. I don't know.
It might be July.
I thinking you're actually right at this point, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's been mighty quiet.
Neely will be back tomorrow. No RK though. He's off on his trip. But the quad pod will be back sooner than you think.
I got a lot of things to ask Unc tomorrow.
Me too.
Make sure y'all tap in with us. It's going to be one of them days.
Yeah, first time I've really spoken to him since after the draft. Have we talked to him since then?
Yeah, I think he was on after the draft, yeah.
Quick, though. Not like a whole show, right?
No, it was a segment. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, lots to get into. We'll hear about what's going on in Boulder right now. Yeah. We'll hear about Shador and the draft, I'm sure. How Coach is doing. Tons of stuff. So,
hey, one last thing, too, quickly. Just from, like, quick observations from the well-off media videos and obviously day 3, I think, of the summer strength and conditioning program that began on Monday. One guy who kind of stood out to me just from, physique build.
Yeah.
Boy, Hakeem Williams looks like
absolutely
looks like a former 5-star. You know what I'm saying?
He does,
so
man.
I'm excited for him in that entire receiver room this fall.
We'll talk all about it tomorrow. See you then. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.